put out this album, I'm gonna go gold because the time is now. The time wasn't right then, you know what I'm saying? It was a little off time. The time is now.
They beat the nigga so bad, he told us who did it. He told, it got back to the city that the guys that did it, it was like, yo, Big L did that.
Every time I went to Harlem to see Big L that he was gonna fight, he thought he was fighting your size, like the biggest in the world. He's like this. I'm like, oh my God.
Big L was the go-to rapper everybody respected for his razor-sharp bars and raw storytelling. But there's a whole other side to L that barely gets spoken about. The man had one foot stepping heavy in the rap world and the other locked into the Harlem streets, solid.
Before we got on, it was like L.
Yeah.
You know, he was the guy, he took us everywhere to rap. And then when I got on, it was like the whole wave changed. It was like, this is what it looks like when a really get on.
Plenty of big names still say he was never scared to throw hands with anyone who tried him. People would be like, yo, Big L really did that. Even as his rap career started taking off, he didn't just walk away from the block. Growing up in Harlem, he rolled deep with a crew called NFL.
He started using a few of my lyrics, like different compounds that I was using. That's when you make two words rap at the same time. So I checked the nigga.
Not just words, syllables.
Yeah, syllables.
Led by his older brother, Big Lee. Because of that connection, L found himself in some street situations that turned ugly fast. One of the biggest stories floating around, his fallout with Mase. In 2024, Mase finally opened up about their tense history during an episode of It Is What It Is.
And I walked up 40th on 7th to 41st, and a Spanish just run out of nowhere like, yo, give it up, I'm gonna kill both of you.
And it had people talking all over again. Both Mase and Big L repped Harlem to the core, linking up early in a crew called Children of the Corn, a squad that also had Cameron, Bloodshed, and Herb McGruff.
They beat the so bad, he told us who did it. He told, it got back to the city that the guys that did it, it was like, yo, Big L did that.
The crew officially came together in the early 90s, around 93, but L had already been making noise in the underground way before that.
So L come over to me, right? He like, yo, Crack, I need you. I said, yo, what's up? You know, Big L, my little brother. Yeah. I said, yo, L, what's up? Nah. I got to holler at these this and this and that.
He was tearing up mixtapes with wild wordplay that had people rewinding just to catch every punchline. By 95, he dropped his debut album, Lifestyles, Ode to Poor and Dangerous, cementing his spot with both critical respect and serious street credibility. But the very next year, Mase took a sharp turn.
Pulls up to Mase and Fat Joe, man.
Oh, man.
And I'm standing with L.
Signing with Bad Boy Records in 96 and almost overnight becoming a commercial superstar. That's when the energy between him and Big L started shifting. Hard. Mase said it straight. When I first got on, before we made it, L was the guy. He took us everywhere. Bobo, different spots, to rap. Then when I got on, it was like the whole wave switched. This is what it looks like when a dude really makes it. So me and L would get into it. On top of that, Mase claimed he started noticing Big L sliding some of his rhyme techniques into his own bars, which only made things between them even more tense. Mase said L even started borrowing some of his style, using the same kind of compound rhymes he was known for.
Big L, man, y'all niggas is wild. Yo, Jay, man, that Jay need to get up to Big L anytime here.
That's when you make two words rhyme at the same time, Mase explained. But when he tried to check L about it, things went sideways quick. The tension didn't just stay, it built. According to Mase, Big L wasn't hearing the criticism at all. Instead, L decided to pull in backup. Mase claimed L went and got Fat Joe, who at the time was repping the Bronx as part of the legendary DITC crew with L. Mase, remembered the scene clearly. I told L, I'll knock you out. You know I know you, dude. He went and got Fat Joe on me. He brought some Bronx dudes because he couldn't find nobody else. Next thing I know, I'm in the tunnel and Fat Joe rolls up on me. But that wasn't the only time the two crossed paths in a bad way. There was another moment, way more serious. Mase said he was back in Harlem one day just chilling with his childhood friend God Shamgod. Yeah, the same Shamgod who'd later become an assistant coach for the Dallas Mavericks. They were just hanging on the block when suddenly a robbery went down. Trying to play it smart, Mase said he stalled for time, slowly sliding off his watch before tossing it near a car tire, then breaking into a sprint with Shamgod right behind him. Luck was on their side. Cops were nearby and quickly caught the would-be robber, even recovering the watch. But what came next? That's where it got wild. Not long after, Mase started getting calls from people he knew who were locked up in the same jail as the stick-up guy. They told him that during a brutal jailhouse beatdown, the robber made a crazy confession. Big L had supposedly set the whole thing up. And here's the kicker. Fat Joe later backed up parts of that story in an interview, giving his own take on that night. Joe said he felt like L had low-key set him up too. He remembered L approaching him at the tunnel, saying he had some drama and needed backup. And Joe, being tight with L through their DITC connection, showed up deep with his crew, ready to handle whatever was coming. But when Fat Joe pulled up, he said he got hit with a curveball he never saw coming. The beef L needed backup for, it wasn't with some random street rival. It was with Mase. Joe said he stood there, caught off guard, watching the two Harlem heavyweights go back and forth. L started getting more aggressive, glancing at Joe like he was giving the signal to jump in. Joe admitted that moment probably shifted how Mase saw him for good. From that day on, he could feel Mase never fully trusted him again. Looking back now, Joe calls it a foul situation, one he walked into completely blind, and that wasn't the only tension L had swirling around. There was also the rumor-heavy friction between Big L and the Notorious B.I.G. Not exactly confirmed as a full-blown beef, but there were some questionable moments that had Harlem and Brooklyn both buzzing. Word is, before Biggie became the face of Bad Boy Records, Diddy had his eye on signing Big L. This was early 90s when Diddy was still at Uptown Records, but by 92, L had already signed a deal with Columbia, so that shot never happened. Not long after, Diddy linked with Biggie, and when Bad Boy officially launched, Biggie stepped in as one of the label's main stars. From there, Biggie's career went straight to the top. Platinum hits, chart domination, the whole package. But here's the thing. Besides both rocking big in their names, Big L and Biggie had a lot in common. Both were lyrical assassins, heavyweight names in the New York rap scene, and both had serious ties to Jay-Z. Jay traded bars with Biggie on classics like Brooklyn's Finest, but he also had deep history with Big L. Who could forget that legendary 1995 freestyle on Stretch and Bobbito's show? Jay-Z and Big L going toe-to-toe, no hooks, no filler, just pure heat. Plenty of fans still swear L walked away with the win that night. Now Biggie may have chased the mainstream bag while Big L kept it raw in the underground, but their worlds still crossed. It's said that L even opened a few shows for Biggie while he was on tour, a clear sign they had at least some kind of professional respect. But the smooth vibes got messy around the time L dropped Lifestyle's Ove to Poor and Dangerous in '95. One of the project's standout tracks, MVP, flipped DeBarge's Stay With Me. Not long after, Biggie released One More Chance. And guess what? Same exact sample. Some fans and insiders started whispering that Biggie's hit might have been inspired or even directly influenced by MVP. Big L never spoke on it publicly, but the streets definitely noticed. Whispers say the whole sample situation didn't really pit Big L and Biggie against each other directly, but it did light a fuse between their crews, and that's where things allegedly turned real messy. Big L's older brother, Big Lee, had a close friend in the streets named Reg. Reg was tied to L's Harlem crew NFL and also had connections to heavy hitters, like Black Just from the Supreme Team. Around that time, word spread that Reg bumped into a junior MAFIA member at a local Chinese spot. Supposedly, he stepped to him hard, hit him with a stiff shot to freeze him up, pulled out the strap, and snatched his chain. Here's the crazy part. The chain was rumored to be the same one Biggie was seen rocking in an episode of Martin. After that, Junior MAFIA was heated. They went looking for Reg to get it back, but he wasn't folding. Street Talk says Reg told them straight up, if they wanted it back, they'd have to come get it in blood. The challenge was on for anyone willing to try. Now back then, the Tunnel nightclub in NYC was the Sunday night spot, and Big L was a regular presence. Sources say whenever L rolled through, He'd sometimes ask Reg to borrow a chain, most likely to keep his image shining. And rumor has it, some nights the chain L wore was the same one taken from Junior MAFIA, possibly even Biggie's. Big L genuinely loved the craft. You could hear it in every single bar he spit. That's what earned him real, lasting respect in the game. Born Lamont Coleman on May 30th, 1974, in Harlem, New York, he was the youngest of 3 kids in a family that went through its share of struggles. His father walked out when L was just a little kid, leaving his mother to raise him and his 2 older brothers on her own. They squeezed into a small 2-room apartment on 139th Street and Lenox Avenue, a spot that would later be remembered as the very heart of Big L's story. As the baby of the family, Lamont picked up the nickname Little L. But even as a kid, people noticed he had a certain spark. One life-changing moment came when his older brother, Donald Z, took him to see Run DMC perform at the Beacon Theater. L was only 7, but watching that iconic group tear up the stage lit something deep inside him. It planted the dream that maybe one day he could be the one commanding the crowd. By 12, Big L was hooked on hip-hop. He spent hours locked into music, memorizing lyrics, studying flows, and freestyling with his boys on the block. This wasn't just a phase. It was an obsession that grew stronger by the day. In 1990, at just 16, he started putting serious work in, writing rhymes, sharpening his punchlines, and building his style. Around that time, he linked with his friends Doc Ream and Rodney to form his first rap group, 3 the Hard Way. While Big L was dead set on making it in music, not everyone around him shared that same drive. After Rodney dipped, the group got rebranded as 2 Hard Mother S. But even that didn't last long. Still, those early short-lived crews taught L some hard lessons about grinding, staying focused, and not depending on anyone else to chase your dream. Then, in the summer of 1990, everything shifted. L crossed paths with Lord Finesse, a rapper and producer already making serious noise in the hip-hop scene. They met at an autograph signing at a record shop on 125th Street. L, never the type to let an opportunity slide, decided to spit a freestyle right there on the spot. Finesse was blown away and immediately exchanged numbers with him, a move that would later crack open big doors for the young Harlem MC. At the same time, L was still trying to juggle school while pushing full steam into his rap grind. Big L attended Julia Richmond High School, and even while hitting the books, he was sharpening his lyrical blade every chance he got. He graduated in 1992, but long before that, he was already a name Harlem knew. L was that guy in freestyle battles, whether it was rhyming in the hallways, holding it down on the corner, or shutting down house and block parties. In his final interview, L looked back on those days and said, "In the beginning, all I ever saw myself doing was battling everybody, on the street corners, rhyming in the hallways, beating on the wall, rhyming to my friends. Every now and then, a house party, grab the mic, a block party, grab the mic." By 92, L was making serious moves. He was recording demos that would later end up on his legendary debut, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. That same year, he popped up on Yo MTV Raps alongside his mentor Lord Finesse, helping promote Finesse's album, Return of the Funky Man. L's first real taste of professional success came when he was featured on the remix of Yes You May, the B-side to Lord Finesse's Track Party Over Here. Soon after, he scored his first album feature on Represent from Showbiz and AG's Runaway Slave. But the big moment, L entered a freestyle battle hosted by Nubian Productions, facing nearly 2,000 other MCs, and walked away the champion. That big freestyle win only confirmed what Harlem already knew. Big L was a lyrical powerhouse built for the big stage. By 1993, Columbia Records came calling, officially signing him and kicking off his journey into the mainstream. Not long after, he dropped his first promotional single, Devil's Son, a gritty, chilling track L once called one of the first true horrorcore records. It pulled from both his love of horror flicks and the raw, often brutal reality he'd seen growing up in Harlem. The track made waves for its dark edge, but L made it clear he wasn't boxed into one style. He thrived on versatility. That same year, he gathered some of Harlem's most promising talent to form Children of the Corn, a crew stacked with future stars like Cameron, then Killer Cam, Mahe, Bloodshed, and McGruff. Together, they were starting to make serious noise until tragedy hit. In 1997, Bloodshed died in a car accident, cutting the group's run short. In 1994, L came back with another promo single, I Shoulda Used a Rubber, a cautionary tale delivered with his trademark wit and razor-sharp storytelling. Then in 95, he unleashed his debut album, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. The project landed at number 149 on the Billboard 200 and climbed to number 22 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, cementing Big L's arrival as one of New York's most dangerous young voices. Big L's debut album delivered straight-up classics, Put It On and MVP, both climbing the Billboard Hot Rap Tracks charts and locking in their place as 90s hip-hop staples. Even though Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous didn't blow the doors off commercially, it stamped L as one of the game's most dangerous young lyricists. His razor punchlines and layered wordplay made him stand out in a crowded New York scene. But behind the scenes, trouble was brewing. Disputes with Columbia Records over creative control led to L being dropped from the label in 1996. Looking back, L admitted he never felt fully at home there, surrounded by label execs who didn't really get his vision or his sound. Still, losing a deal wasn't slowing him down. By 97, he was already working on his second studio album, The Big Picture. That same year, he officially joined the legendary Diggin' in the Crates crew, DITC, linking with heavyweights like Lord Finesse, Showbiz, AG, and OC. He dropped fire collaborations like Dangerous with OC, and in 98, he even hit Europe, opening for OC's Jules tour and showing overseas crowds exactly why Harlem had been screaming his name for years. Big L decided to take full control of his destiny, launching his own independent label, Flamboyant Entertainment. His mission was crystal clear: deliver pure, unfiltered hip-hop. No watered-down top 40 samples, no R&B hook chasing, just raw bars for the streets. Under Flamboyant, he dropped the now iconic Ebonics, a masterclass in breaking down African-American vernacular English with his trademark wit and precision. The track didn't just hit, it shook the culture. The Source named it one of the top 5 independent singles of the year, further cementing L's status as a lyrical genius. Around this time, Damon Dash, CEO of Rockefeller Records, took notice and made a move to sign him. L was down, but he had one condition: his crew had to come too. In February 1999, the wheels were in motion for Big L, Herb McGruff, C-Town, and Jay-Z to roll as a collective called the Wolf Pack. It looked like Big L was finally about to break into the massive mainstream spotlight he deserved. But tragically, before those plans could become reality, his life was cut short. If you rocked with this story, make sure you drop a like, hit that subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Rest in peace to a Harlem legend. See you on the next one.